Thanks so much for being here. Today is a really exciting and important day for our organization and our players, and I'm proud to announce that the second head coach in Boston Fleet history is Kris Sparre.
I want to thank you all for coming out today. This is truly, a very, very important day for me and my family, and a very exciting day to be here and be named the head coach of the Boston Fleet. This is a league that has tremendous momentum right now. This is and to be able to work in a city like Boston, that's such a rich tradition in winning and building successful teams, is something that I don't take lightly, and I'm very excited about. Before I get into it, I just want to acknowledge some people that have been instrumental throughout this process. Obviously Danielle beside me, just instilling that confidence in me to lead this team. I'm forever grateful for that and appreciative of it. I also want to thank, some people from the PWHL head office, starting with Chris Burkett, Jana Hefford, Alexis Miller, just, having these questions and things that, you have to work through over the process. They're always a phone call away, so I thank them. And then lastly, to my wife, Stephanie, who's here today. For anybody who knows the life of a hockey coach, it's a challenging one. You're constantly moving from, city to city, having to make new friends, moving your kids in and out of school, things like that. And my wife she's always encouraged me to keep going and follow my dream. And so I'm forever grateful to you, and I love you. Thank you for being here today. Like I said, being named the head coach of the Boston Fleet's a tremendous honor. The city of Boston, it just has such a rich sports tradition, of successful franchises and teams that are well respected. And for me, coming in to take this job, I want to carry on that tradition. I want to make the Boston Fleet a championship level program that we can all be proud of, as a team. As players, as coaches, but in our community and with our fans, which I'm told are called the crew, and I'm looking forward to meeting them, getting out in the community and getting involved. I believe my strengths as a coach is my ability to communicate a message, effectively, and my ability to build strong relationships with our players. For me, coaches are there's so many things that go into a day-to-day basis, but when you're talking about an individual player, I think that individuals need to know two things at all times. Okay, they need to know where they stand on the team at that current moment, which is a long way of saying what's my role on the team, and they need to know where are their opportunities for growth, meaning how can you change that narrative where they are right now. And it's our jobs as coaches to guide them through that process and articulate that to them so they feel significant to the team. It's also our job to be humble enough to listen to them. These are the best players in the world, the best women's hockey players in the world, and they've worked at the highest levels of hockey. They've been in the Olympics. They've worked for amazing coaches over the years, and so for us, we got to be humble enough to say, hey, you know what? We can learn a lot from them too, and to take that collaborative approach. I feel like the most important part of our team moving forward will be the team. And I said this morning, just in a small little media thing that we were doing. If you're the 13th forward on our team, you're going to be significant to the process. If you're the 8th forward, you're going to be 8th defenseman, you're going to be significant to the process. If you're our third string goalie, you're going to be significant. And our team, nothing is going to be more important than our team. And I can promise you that moving forward, the Boston Fleet are going to be a very, very difficult team to play against. Okay, we are going to be suffocating in every area of the ice, and we're going to build a culture where we crave the work. Okay, we're going to have everybody coming in every single day excited about putting in the work, and we're going to do extra. We're going to do more than the regular teams are willing to do, because we know that the results are going to pay off in the end. Like I said, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. This is, like I said, an amazing opportunity for me. It's an amazing opportunity for my family, and just to work in this city. I mean, you really can't ask for more as a professional hockey coach, and I sincerely can't wait to get going. Thank you very much.
We'll move forward to questions. First for Danielle, also hi Kris, I'm
Yeah.
Emma with the Boston Globe.
Sorry, what did you say?
My name's Emma. I'm
Emma,
with the
okay,
Boston Globe.
okay.
Danielle, for you, what stood out to you about Kris in the hiring process, and what sort of made you realize that he was the right person for this job?
Yeah, what's funny is that we didn't prepare this together, but what he talked about is strengths. It's a combination of a skill set that he has and his experience. And what came through very strongly in the interview process and was also reinforced in conversations I had with coaches who've worked with him and with players who've played for him is he's an elite communicator. And he's really clear in his expectations. For me, I always say a great leader tells you what direction we're going, how we're going to get there, and like what's my role in that, which he sort of alluded to, and sort of what he cares about in how he communicates with players, and so we're very aligned on that. I think we talk about the adjustment to this league for college players coming in and being pro, and we don't practice as much as those players are used to. So a lot of our learning is in video, it's in presentation, and I think we've all had teachers who were really bright, but like we couldn't follow, we didn't understand. Kris is going to be somebody who those players are going to be able to follow that, understand what are we doing, what are we trying to accomplish, and how am I going to help the team to get there. The other thing that he also touched on is he takes a relationship-based approach. So he's going to invest in the relationships with the players. He has an ability to connect and to engage that allows you to build trust, which I think is crucial in a quality for a head coach. So it's those skill sets among so many more, but those are the two that really stood out to me, combined with his experience, coaching professional hockey, both in Europe and in North America, but his experience in the American Hockey League. There are challenges that in our league that we experience that are similar in that there is a need to balance player development and winning now. I've talked about this a lot in the last 2 years. Is these players come into this league and have to figure out how to perform right away, but you have to be playing. You have to win every game, and you have to be playing your best hockey by the end of the season. So you're balancing winning that first game of the season, knowing that those points on the board matter, while also simultaneously developing the players that you have and catching them up to speed. That's what Kris has gotten to do in his time in the American Hockey League. Is he's bringing in elite prospects and having to get them up to speed, teaching them how to be professionals quickly, and then also he's responsible for a record and wins and losses, and so that combination of the skill set and his experience is what set him apart from other candidates.
Can I follow up on that? Kris, if you wouldn't mind saying, your perspective on that. What is your experience in the AHL? How do you plan to take that into this role?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, it's going to be a hard answer to follow up. Well done. It's the American Hockey League it's a very interesting league to coach in. You're constantly you're kind of a moving target. You come into the rink one day and half your team has gone up to the NHL, and then you have a whole new team, and so you're constantly having to make adjustments. And for us, being able to work with those relationships with the players, understanding that there's a common goal. Athletes all over, they want to get to the highest level. And so, they go up to the NHL, then they come back to the American Hockey League, and sometimes they're not feeling so great about that, right? But it's our job and our relationship to keep pushing them through. And so I see this as a similar opportunity. We have a lot of youth coming into this team. We also have some great veteran leadership with Megan Keller. We have an outstanding goalie, one of the best in the league. And so for us, it's going to be that nice blend. But we also understand if we want to win, we're going to have to get our youth up to speed immediately.
Jimmy Golden from the Associated Press. Danielle, I'll start with you. His experience comes from the men's game. Was there any concern about bringing someone with no experience coaching women, and what can you tell him about kind of adjustments he might need to make, if any?
Yeah, I think, I maybe would have felt differently had I not spent a year with the Bruins. And having that opportunity and working with the men and the way that those coaches and that development staff is working with athletes and those players and developing them, I thought it was actually a really neat opportunity to bring somebody over who's experienced that, the development piece of it, what I talked about the balancing the need to develop players and the need to win. And so I don't have a concern about the fact that he hasn't coached women's hockey. I think, these are professional athletes. He's coached professional athletes. He's coached the best players in the game. Our players want to be treated like pros, and they want to learn from the best. And I think that's what we're doing here with bringing Kris in.
Same sort of question for you. Is hockey hockey? I mean, is there anything that you think you might need to adjust to?
Well, I think there's some nuances, certainly, especially within the rules of the game, the 3-point wins, shorter game schedule. Like these games have, you can't throw away a weekend. That's for sure. You got to be on your toes at all the times. But for me, when I went through the process and I'm looking for, my next job and I want to be a head coach, it was important for me. I wanted to work with the highest level of athletes possible. This gives you the opportunity to work, as mentioned, in a great city, but with the best women's hockey players on the globe. And what that means is they're motivated people. They want to get better. That's my skill set. That's my wheelhouse. That's where I want to live. And so when this opportunity came up, I didn't look at it as, men's, women's. I looked at it as the best option to work with the best in the world.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. Like, I didn't, he sought out this opportunity. I didn't have to convince him why our game is amazing and why he should be a part of it. That was something that, he saw watching the success of our league and how exciting it's been, the momentum that exists in women's hockey, and was something that, he's expressed like he wanted to be on board with.
How did that happen, if I can ask? Was there a search firm involved, or did you reach out to?
We just bumped into each other one day in the middle of the street. No. I actually kind of knew. I work with some female athletes in Burlington in the summertime, and there was an agent that kind of put us in touch, and I had been told that there was an option or an availability at the head coaching position in Boston, and so Danielle and I got in touch through the agent, and this started the interview process, and then she started grinding me for 2 weeks.
Is that Burlington, Mass, or
Burlington, Ontario?
Ontario.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah.
Hi, Kris. Jason Cook from the Little Sun.
Hi, Jason. Yeah, thank you.
Just from watching this team last year and kind of getting to know the group you have coming in this year, what excites you about the group that you'll have this season?
Well, I was trying to think of the right narrative or the right slogan for this group, and it was something like the chase is on, or unfinished business, something like that. But for the first 2 seasons in this league, another team has put that trophy over their head. And so for me, from day one, we're going to work and push into that each and every day to make sure that's our group one day. And it's not going to be easy. Okay, there's going to be struggles, there's going to be adversity, but that's where the communication aspect, that's where the relationship building comes in. And because adversity is coming, I promise you that. Okay, it's not going to be easy. And when we come off a flight from Minnesota after a 2-hour flight back to Boston, 2 hours?
A little more, but
okay,
close.
3-hour flight back to Boston, and we're like, we got a game Wednesday night, and we have 2 injuries, and we got 2 people sick, and maybe our best players out of the lineup. We're going to take that as an opportunity because the relationship, the foundation is there. This is an opportunity for our players to push through that because it's not going to be easy, but we embrace that, and that's going to be the culture of this team. We're going to be a +2 mentality. Okay, team. You tell us to do 3 sets in the gym, we're going to do 5. Okay, you tell us to do 10, we're going to do 12. So that's sort of the culture that we want to build here, where we embrace that type of adversity and we embrace the work environment.
Just to follow up, is there anything about the team's game last year that you maybe think was lacking, or think that you can add to this year, things you're going to be focusing on maybe early in the season?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I'd love to give you an answer on that. I think I'd be guessing right now. I was hired a week ago. I'm starting to sort of dig into the players. We're going to start watching some film and seeing, the things that I liked that the team did last year, and things that I think that we can improve on. But there's certainly a lot of great pieces in place here to have success, and that's on us as a staff to bring this group together and have them maximize their talent and everything that we can do as a group.
Between the expansion draft and free agency and bringing in a new head coach. This year sort of has all of the makings of a rebuild year. How do you plan to combat that narrative and make sure it isn't one?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that with change comes opportunity. Okay, so if everything stays status quo, nothing changes, right? So for us, we're going to start from day one, and I can tell you we're going to probably play a different style of hockey. Okay, so that's good. And then this is a wonderful opportunity for these young prospects to come in. I look at Haley Wynn. Okay, I look at Ella Huber. They should be able to come in and make our team. Okay, and they should be able to contribute to the team. So we're going to have that piece in place with these youthful prospects. Then you have, Megan Keller, Alina Mueller. Like, these are elite level players, and we're going to blend them all together. And it's going to be, we're going to have some time in our training camp we're going to do team building, team bonding, things like that to bring us closer together. But it's a process. It really is. It's not going to happen day one. Okay, but if we come together as a group. Okay, we work towards a vision of what we're all going to sort of, build out together. We're going to have a vision so we all know where we're going. Then as the process goes, we're going to continue to push towards that. And that's going to be where we're going to find success.
You mentioned a different style. Can you tell us what that might look like?
Well, yeah. Well, we're going to be aggressive. I can tell you that right now. When you watch the way the Boston Fleet play this year, it's going to be a very, very aggressive style of hockey, and a suffocating style of hockey. And where that shows up, to just give you a little bit more, is when we don't have the puck. Okay, I believe the team's on defense. So whether we're forechecking, whether we're in the defensive zone, if the puck is not on a Boston Fleet stick, we're on defense. And we're going to be very organized as a group on how to get that thing back. Because if you're not organized, you don't get it back quick. And our emphasis is get it back as quick as you can. Now, when we have the puck, we're not going to be a team that just, dumps and chases every time. Okay, we want to hold on to it. We want to possess it. And if you want to get the puck back from us, you got to work to get it. But I can tell you right now, the first thing that's going to stand out is the aggressive mentality. And we're going to be physical. Yeah, we're going to be a physical team at both nets. And we're going to be extremely hard to play against.
Have you had a chance to meet any of the players yet?
I haven't.
You got hired a week ago.
Yeah, I have not, and I'm really excited to be able to just start making phone calls, meeting people face to face. That's like the most exciting thing, for a coach, is to start working with the players and finding out their motivations, finding out who they are as people, and that's that's something that I'm looking forward to diving into.
Any final questions? Thank you, guys.
I thought my wife was going to ask something there.
What are we having for dinner tonight?
What? She's asked for a lobster roll.
No.
There you
So.
go.